buffalo herd that had taken up residence in this area had moved through a large portion of the Kakanika Pride's territory, relatively unharassed by the lions. It wasn't until the sun came up that you really started to see the steam that was coming from this herd. For a moment it looked like a landscape with lots of little fires in the early morning. As the sun began to warm them, they started to move. The lionesses were intensely watching this herd. Bulls on the back and on the fringes of the herd, looking, smelling, and moving very cautiously. One of the lionesses, tired of not being able to see the lay of the buffalo, decided to climb up into a capacity. It's quite unusual to see lions climbing trees at any height. She got a good vantage point, had a look at the herd, and then returned to the ground. The pride, led by several of the females, skirted the edge of the bulrushes and the black ring of mud on the edge of the water, keeping a keen eye on the buffalo. It wasn't long before they too had to cross a piece of water. When lions move through water, it's an interesting time. You get a window into their individual characters. I'm always amazed at how the cats seem to have such an aversion to water. You wouldn't think that they lived in a delta. By the time the pride had caught up with the buffalo, they had already crossed off Dead Tree Island. It was the cubs, unruly, undisciplined, that charged in and made first contact. The buffalo summed them up very quickly and retaliated. Their cover was blown. We found the pride cutting through one of those magical ebony forests that Kakanika is well known for. The whole pride seemed to have gained confidence overnight. It was on the airstrip that the first conflict began. The cubs up front again, exposing themselves, showing the inexperience. A few very close calls. And it wasn't until the male lion charged out that the tables seemed to turn. this stage, the buffalo turned, and you could sense definite panic within the herd. It was one of the lionesses who actually made the contact and hit a young calf. And it was the male who managed to sneak in first to pick up the injured calf. The females were stacked on the edge of the tree line, watching these two males fight over the young buffalo calf. They seemed to know that there was no chance of them getting a meal. Their whole hunt would have to start again.